All right, welcome back to the lab. Jordan Moore, John Jackson, and Steve Lopes now, who's in charge of the Coliseum renovation project, along with many other things at USC as the COO, CFO. And we wanted to just let everyone know, okay, there are going to be changes coming to the Coliseum this season as we transition from the old building into the completed renovation project, which will be in 2019. So please go to usctrojans.com/gameday for everything you need to know about getting to the Coliseum on game day. The easiest path to your seats, which we'll talk about in a moment, is sort of the only real problem that you could face, and all the improvements to maximize your experience. So usctrojans.com/gameday is your great online resource, but we have a human being here to tell you about all these things. Steve, how will the fan be impacted the most this year?
Well, we're very excited, first of all, with the progress we've made. If you would have seen the Coliseum, and we had a live camera you can watch, when the Rams finished their season, they came in and tore the whole south side of the Coliseum out. Didn't touch the outer walls. It's one of the things we agreed to with the LA Conservancy and those government officials, that the outside exterior walls of the Coliseum can't be touched. And so they tore out the entire south side, and we basically built a 7-story structure there on the south side of the Coliseum, which is the Scholarship Club Tower. And so that's the main impact for the 2018 season. It's really between Sections 4 and Sections 10 in the Coliseum, and that is a construction zone during this 2018 season, and that'll be scheduled and on schedule to be completed by the first game of 2019. And so really the impact and the stadium itself is on the south side between Sections 4 and Sections 10. So that's the biggest thing. We've made tremendous progress. We've played 2 Rams games, preseason games of the last couple of weeks, which has helped work out some of the kinks at the Coliseum and really helped us prepare for this week.
You know, everybody I talk to says that the Coliseum getting redone and it's going to look great at the end of it. But the fact that you mentioned it, that you can't touch the outside. What went? I mean, and maybe what went into that thought process, if you can expand on it.
Well, it started 4 or 5 years ago, and there's several plans that were put forward, and we received some criticism from folks about it should be done this way, but part of it was we wanted to maintain the historical significance of the Coliseum, and in Chicago, when they redid Soldier Field, it lost its National Historic Landmark status. We didn't want that to happen, so we worked with the local folks to make sure that didn't happen. One of the big things that happened prior to the last season, which is a large benefit to this project, is we've restored the peristyle end of the Coliseum. We removed those scoreboards and video boards that were there, put up for the '84 Olympics, and moved them into the stadium. And they've been a great an improvement for the fans this last season, and again as we go into the future. And they restored most of that peristyle. If you had walked and even gotten close to it, you'd have seen that the marble and stuff was really falling apart.
Right.
And so that was a big benefit. That peristyle is an iconic piece of the Coliseum, and in the outer walls couldn't be touched. So that design had to basically exist within the bowl. I think people see when you get back in there in 2019, even in the Scholarship Club Tower, and people ask all the time, you see the seats and this rake behind the Scholarship Club Tower is still there, because we wanted to try to maintain as much of the bowl as we possibly could, even in the construction. So the architects in the club area that will actually see the old seat beams coming in through the club as a architectural piece of it to really maintain as much of the historical status as we could at the Coliseum.
The people that do sit in those sections 4 through 10, which they have the construction behind them, but they'll be in the brand new seats that have been put in. Those seats will eventually be in every seat in the whole stadium will be changed. What are the other positive new changes for this season that people will start seeing?
Yeah, I think our fans will be, I hope, very excited, because essentially as it worked out in the construction, it was really a benefit that we didn't foresee when we first started this, is that we've replaced 12,374 seats on the south side, really below row 40 between sections 4 and sections 10. So in those seats, we went in and tore out all that concrete and replaced the concrete with more legroom. So you have 3 inches more legroom, from 30 to 33 inches in all that whole section. We've replaced all of the seats. There are now cup holders. There are now handrails throughout that area. But that's not where it's going to end. We'll actually come back in after the 2018 season and put twice as many aisles in. So right now there are 36 seats across the section. And so if you're in the middle of that section, you're going to climb over 18 people one way or the other. And so we'll put twice as many aisles in, so there'll be 18, so you'll only be 9 seats away from an aisle. And that's going to happen also on the north side. So we'll come back in after this season, and all of the north side between the yard lines the concrete will be torn out. Those improvements will be made on the north side too: new seats, new aisles, new handrails, wider tread width, those sort of things. So those are things that are happening You'll see part of that this year, but the real majority of that work happens after the 2018 season. In addition to that, we're going to expand and put a Wi-Fi system in. That's a great fan enhancement for folks that are important. So they'll have connectivity throughout the Coliseum. We'll have it outside in the gate area so that we can improve our concessions and all of those things. There'll be new concessions on the south side of the Coliseum on the ground floor of the Scholarship Club Tower. So all of the people on the south will have access to those when they come in those areas. So this year, you'll see the new seats and the scoreboards and things we've done, but we have a lot more to do in the next off-season to get this thing fully completed.
And finally, USC isn't the only construction in that Exposition Park area. The Lucas Museum is going in, which is also causing some issues with parking. What's your best piece of advice for people that are going and might have to deal with some parking issues and some things this season?
Yeah, Exposition Park in a few years is going to be an incredible place. When the Lucas Museum is finished, right now they're building a 1,500 space parking garage on the west side of the stadium that really runs from along Vermont Avenue. And so there's no parking on the west side of the stadium this year, which is really going to impact us. It will be completed for the 2019 season. We'll still have all those spaces back, actually plus some more spaces than we had before. So that's a positive thing. But for this year, I would just ask people to be patient with us. Use campus parking. There's plenty of parking on campus in the new Shrine parking lot, the grand structure on campus.
Take the train?
Take the train. Metro, we have additional trains running on Metro. There's a Silver Line coming up the Harbor Freeway from the Metro station down the Harbor Freeway in the Artesia Transit Center. So all of those things are better are helping people get into the stadium this year. We just ask get here early, and enjoy your day at USC at football games.
And go to usctrojans.com/gameday. All the answers are there.